Hello. This is the story of a young, hard-working couple with a child from New Zealand who have been taken advantage of by a tattoo studio. The studio is called Zealand Tattoos. So the story begins when Kayla, who is a dog groomer and runs her own business, and her partner Dan, who is a very hard-working and busy mechanic, want to go away for the weekend because they haven't been away for a very long time, and they plan to have a tattoo each whilst away for the weekend. Michaela contacts the tattoo studio by email, and originally she wanted for her and Dan to go to the same studio and to book it out for an appointment for the whole day for each of them and to come to an arrangement on price. Unfortunately, or actually it turns out to be fortunately, but at the time Michaela thought, oh, I'm going to have to go to a different tattoo studio to Dan because it is fully booked. But that turns out to be a good thing for her. So let's dive in and find out where it all goes disastrously wrong.
A couple in New Zealand had been left in tears after the results of a recent tattoo. They contacted the studio and asked for a quote for the piece. They were told it would be roughly about $1,000. They did explain that money was quite tight for their budget and that they wouldn't really want to spend more than this amount.
Some people in the comments said that if they couldn't afford the tattoo, then why were they getting it done? That wasn't the reason that Kayla set a budget. It was because they didn't want to spend any more than that amount of money. So they had $1,000 each as their budget, but they could go over by a few hundred more. So all she was trying to do was to shop around like anyone would when you're going to somewhere you've never been before to get a tattoo. It wasn't they couldn't afford it. They were just literally shopping around and making sure that they got a good deal. And in this case, she did, but he definitely didn't, as we will see.
Upon arriving at the studio, Dan was told he would have to pay $400 additional on top of the $1,000 that he had already spent.
There's one thing I need to say at this point though. When Kayla booked this appointment, she paid $100 as a deposit and also purchased a voucher for $1,000. So before they've even arrived at this tattoo studio, they have paid $1,000 and now they're asking for even more money.
He wasn't super happy with this, but he did realise these things happen, so he went ahead with the tattoo. 2 hours later, he was told that he was done for the day, the $1,400 was spent.
In the emails that were going back and forth between Kayla and the owner of the tattoo studio, she had booked one whole day and they had agreed on a provisional price. I don't understand how after 2 hours they can then tell Dan they've spent the $1,400. That I don't get that. That don't make sense to me. If you book an appointment for a whole day at an agreed price, how in the hell can you, after 2 hours, say that you've spent all that money? It's just disgusting.
And he would have to come back to get it completed. This is the result after 2 hours worth of tattooing.
As you can see from that image there, all that has been done is the outline, the line work, and that's not even all of it. It's not actually finished. So again, I've got to say, how can that be $1,400? Let's have a look at a close-up of what Dan has paid $1,400 for.
Upon realising he had just received line work for $1,400, Dan then asked how much it would cost to complete the rest of the tattoo. He was then told it would cost an additional $2,500 to $3,200 to complete.
Dan wanted this specific tattoo for quite a few reasons. One, he is a Maori, so he wanted a Maori tattoo, and it's actually called a tomoko. Hopefully, I'm not butchering that. And the reason it would mean so much to him is because of his Maori heritage. It would also symbolise his love for his partner and their son, and also for Dan's friend who had unfortunately just passed away. So, as you can imagine, this tattoo was going to mean the world to Dan, and he was left with not even a 3/4 finished tattoo.
So, what do you think? Would you pay $1,400 for this, or would you also be upset?
I wouldn't pay $1,400 for it. I would be extremely upset and angry. I would be shouting it from the rooftops because when the session was booked, it was booked for the whole day. The price, as far as everyone was concerned, was for the completed tattoo, not just a small part of it. And they were basically taken advantage of and then told they had to come back and pay all of that extra money to have the tattoo finished when the people were made aware that they were only there for the weekend and that wasn't going to be a possibility. Now, as I said at the beginning of this video, Kayla went to a different tattoo studio and she had this tattoo done. That one only cost $1,100. As you can see, it's complete and she's over the moon with it, like anyone would be. My strong advice to anybody who is thinking about getting a tattoo is if you are booking an appointment in advance, then yes, pay an agreed deposit, but don't ever pay in full before you get there. Otherwise, you could be very disappointed, like Dan. The thing is, though, the story for them ends there. And when Kayla was booking this, she saw lots of positive reviews. But since this incident has occurred, she has now seen many other reviews that are saying that the same thing happened to other people. And this specific tattoo studio tends to do it to people that they feel are mild mannered, like Dan is, and can be taken advantage of. The thing that I find quite ridiculous about this, though, is this tattoo business has 3 shops in different parts of New Zealand. So, why is it actively trying to ruin its business? Because, in my opinion, that is exactly what it is doing. Let me know down in the comments your thoughts on what happened to this poor couple. Well, that's it for this video. If you've enjoyed it, then please give it a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel, and I'll see you on the next video. Ta-ta for now.